another yoga class with us. It is Wednesday. We're like right before the full moon in Scorpio, which has some deep vibes to it. Scorpio's rather typically considered more of a darker, mysterious sign, and it's the flower moon, so it's like a spring moon, like a light vibes mixed with some dark energy, which, I don't know, kind of reflective of what we're experiencing right now in general. I always think of Scorpio as just being Scorpios are very like rooted in their truth and very rooted in like, if you wrong a Scorpio, you're probably never getting forgiveness. They typically hold true and are like connected within themselves. And that's kind of just like what comes to mind for me. And when I think of that, really think of the root chakra, and it's our base, it's our home, it's what keeps us stable. There's a lot that keeps us stable in our body, but that's like, home base. It's our first chakra. It's where we were born from. It's the womb. It is our home. And to me, you have to strengthen that, and you have to get affirmed in yourself and your own truths in order to then be free in all the other areas of your life, to get light. So you have to get dark and serious almost and really hone into yourself in order to expand in other ways. And I've been working a lot on opening up my upper body. I have a lot of upper body being really stuck, and I'm working in my own heart opening practices, and we're going to do that in our next series. I have really had to find that when I go to put together practices for myself at home, everything's starting with me getting stable from the ground up first. And we're going to explore that today and play into activating the lower chakra in some of our poses, and also finding a rooted connectedness in other areas of our body depending on where we are most weight bearing in the practice. So with that, I want you to just settle down, close your eyes, and start to connect with yourself through the breath. So we're going to ground down. We're going to start just like with a little breathing, meditation, breath work into the root chakra. I'm going to have you take a mudra. It's called Womb Mudra, but it does have a name that's just escaping my brain right now. Basically, you are making a triangle with your pointer and your thumb fingers. Triangle is facing down, and you're just going to take that and place that over right below the navel point, right in the area of the low pelvis. And just close the eyes here. And as you inhale, bringing in the breath, pulling it down the spine, into the base of the pelvis. And as you inhale in this next breath, and you follow the breath traveling down the back of the spine, imagine the breath extending out through the pelvic floor, down through the mat, rooting your seat into the earth. Keep that connection as you exhale. The navel pulls back, the breath moves up the body. And then inhale again, following the breath down. Watching it as it expands out through the base of your pelvis into the floor, rooting you down. And as you inhale, those connection roots, they stay down as the breath pulls energy in and you connect into your home, into the root, the base of the pelvis. Exhale, breath rises, but the connection does not break. You feel just as grounded and heavy. Inhale, pulling in the energy through the nose. down the spine, into the base of the pelvis, and then shooting out through the bottom of the spine, rooting you into the earth. And just imagining this pulsation of energy as you follow the breath in and out of the pelvic floor, down into the earth, and then back into the central point of the base of your spine, the center of your pelvis, connecting you to yourself, allowing stability for you to direct your energy back out. Allow yourself to start to come back into more natural rhythm of breathing. Gently release your hands, bringing them down on top of the thighs. And slowly open the eyes. And we're going to start in cat-cow. Just rooting first here through our hands. So instead of the focus really being in the root chakra as our connection point to the earth, we're going to feel weighted and heavy in our hands. But here where we draw into our pelvic floor in tabletop pose, is we're not letting the belly just drop down and relax. You're toning the pelvic floor, hugging in. Belly lifts up. This is our neutral place. Then, as we stay rooted in our hands, shoulders over wrist, we take the tailbone up, drop the belly, heart pulls forward, gaze looks up. You're still pulling energy up through the hands, up through the knees, into your pelvic floor. Exhale now, rounding the tailbone, rounding the mid-back, pulling the navel back, dropping the head. Inhale, tailbone up, belly moves towards the floor, heart pulls forward. Exhale, reversing. The whole time keeping the activation in the pelvis, even as the spine moves. The activation there stays steady. It stays steady through the hands. This is your connection point. Through this connection, you're able to find the freedom in the spine to roll in and out of your cat-cow. One more round. On your next exhale, find yourself back to a neutral tabletop. We're just going to wag our hips side to side, so knees are going to stay stable. The arms are going to stay stable. We're just going to take the hips over to the right. Exhale over to the left. Notice how my upper body barely moves. That's the goal, is to really not let the shoulders sway at all. This means the movement is perhaps very slight here. Getting weighted and heavy today in different areas of our body. Bring it in, inhale, come back to a neutral spine. Press the weight back. Hands are out in front of you. You might even want to walk the hands a little bit longer. We're just going to stretch through the upper back. Root your seat back into your heels. Keep the arm bones lifting off the floor, so instead of dropping down here, they're up. Inhale, as you exhale, keep the arm bones lifted and let the heart sink more towards the floor. Good. Inhale, heart lifts away from the floor a little bit. And then exhale back down. Good. Inhale, heart lifts a bit. Lift the knees so the shins are parallel towards your mat. And then exhale, send the hips back. The knees are still bent. Inhale, come on to the balls of your feet. Lift the hips high. As you exhale, lengthen out through your heels. Keep the hips high. Find yourself in downward facing dog. Holding here. 3 long breaths. Good. Inhale. Hug your belly button in. Really engage the low pelvic floor. Take the shoulders forward over the wrist, finding plank pose. And exhale, lower the knees down. Inhale. Exhale, bend the elbows. Starting to lower down slow with control. The energy is pulling into the pelvis. Belly's not dropping down, so tail is tucked. Lowering finally all the way onto the floor. Here, as we move from our hands being the energy point connecting us into the floor, now the front of our pelvis is rooted down. We really have to hug in, engage the low belly, squeeze the butt, squeeze Mula Bandha. So when we talk about Mula Bandha, it's a squeezing of the low pelvic floor. You squeeze everything and up, and naturally you can feel the outer hips and the glutes engage. We really want that here as we now inhale. From that stability, take the heart forward towards the front of the mat, starting to lift up into baby cobra. The more you can feel a connection through the lower half of the body into the earth, the more freedom you have to lift up through the heart. Exhale, lower down. Staying here, we're going to take the hands out behind us. Thumbs are going to point down. Tops of the feet root into the mat. And as we inhale, so to pull the heart forward, maybe the hands walk back a little bit towards your feet on the mat. Inhale again, hug in, draw into your pelvis. Pull the heart forward, maybe inch the hands back a little bit more. Good, keep the lift of the heart, bring the hands forward, lining the thumbs up with the chest. And as you inhale, pull the heart forward, coming up into full cobra or up dog. Good, exhale, keep the shoulders engaged, send the hips back, downward facing dog. Arms are heavy. Connection pulls up from the hands to the shoulders into the back of the heart. Allowing the freedom in the low waist, in the legs, as you get stable here through your focal point, the back of the heart. You find freedom in the back of the legs. Good, inhale. Deeply exhale, bring the knees down. We're going to come onto our back. We're going to work into our pelvic floor by toning and working the low abdominal muscles. And we're going to be actively pulling and engaging into our low core. We're also going to be using our back for stability as well as we roll in and out of some of these poses. We're going to lift both legs high. Legs are straight. Here we're going to take our hands into that little diamond shape that we had before. We're going to place it under our sacrum, and this just helps feels a little bit nicer in the low back here for support. Open up the chest on an inhale. So feel the collarbones broaden as you root your shoulders back into the floor. So you're creating a steadiness of the upper back and shoulders into the floor to allow a little bit of freedom as we work into our lower abdominal muscles. Inhale. As we exhale, lower the right leg. Inhale, pulling it back up. As it meets the left, you're going to press up with the hips and rock, take them back down. Inhale, lower the left leg. Exhale, bringing it back up. Inhale, press straight up. And then inhale, lower the right. Exhale, pull it back in. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower the hips. Inhale, lower left leg. Exhale, lifting back up. Inhale, lifting at the top. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, bringing the right foot back up. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, lowering with control. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lift hips. Exhale, lower with control. Last set. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. From here, we're going to lengthen the arms straight to our sides and broaden the shoulders, rooting back into our shoulders here to help us with a steady base. You want to make sure as we start to rock back into malasana, what is it called? Plow pose. I'm going to rock in and out of plow pose. And as we do this, you want to make sure that you're not flattening your cervical spine here. So if this is too much for you being here, you're struggling keeping the curve in the neck, stay here and just work on keeping the legs overhead and activating the pelvic floor while grounding the shoulders back. This steady pose is still activating all of those muscles. If you want to take it up and practice the rock in and out of plow pose, you're going to root the hands down, opening the shoulders up, connecting them to the floor. And as you inhale, you'll rock back, touch. Exhale, bring the legs back up in line with the hips, with control, and then inhale, back up. Exhale, hips come down. Inhale, back up. Exhale, hips come down. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Two more. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Last one. Inhale, up. Out. So from out, all right. We're coming forward with control, bringing the feet back over the hips. Hands can stay on either side of you, or if you'd like more support under the sacrum, you can create that little base, triangle base for yourself again. As you inhale, you're going to lower your right foot halfway down. And then you're going to start to make small circles counterclockwise with the right foot. The smaller you make your circle, the more deeply you connect to the smaller muscle groups in the lower abdominal region and to the pelvis, really activating and working into the root chakra here. Finish your last circle clockwise, and then with your exhale, switch the direction, now going counterclockwise. And just notice this idea that we're playing with in our body here. We're moving in a very unsteady way with our limbs, our leg. Yet we're pulling into a very stable place. Our pelvis, activating these muscles. Inhale, bring the right foot up to meet the left. Exhale that left foot down until you feel the catch of the abdominal muscles. And then start to move that left foot clockwise in a circle. The smaller you make the circle, a little bit deeper. The connection into the abdomen. The deeper the connection occurs into the stomach. And then finishing that circle up and reversing to the other side. And then inhaling, bringing the left foot to meet the right, hugging the knees into the chest. Inhale, rocking up, placing the hands. We're going to step back into our plank pose. Holding here, drawing in energy up through the hands, up through the feet. The more we pull in, the lighter we get through our body, the lighter the pressure gets on our wrist. So we hug in to find a lightness and freedom. Holding here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Send the hips back. Walk the hands back, coming into a forward fold at the back of your mat. Cross elbow to elbow. Let the head hang. Shift the weight back into the heels until you feel the waist even in all four corners of the feet. And the knees are stacked directly over the ankles and the hips over knees. Hip, knees, ankles all in one straight line. We hug and draw the energy up from our feet into our hips, into our pelvis, activating Muladhara. As we hug in, feel the freedom come into the spine, and then as the head lengthens down towards the floor. Release the hands, take the hands to the hips, press through the feet, lengthen through the crown of the head as you come all the way up. Then inhale, take a big step forward with your right foot coming into crescent lunge. Right knee stacked over right ankle, right thigh parallel to the floor. Really ground. You want to feel yourself ground through that right foot. Activating, feeling the right bum fire up. Energetically hug in through both feet. So it's a scissoring action towards one another energetically. And that pulls the energy up into the pelvic floor. As you get energy here, more freedom comes up into the upper body. So you can inhale, lean forward, take the arms overhead like you're grabbing a beach ball. Floating. Good. Exhale, take the hands back, palms floating back. Arms come in line to either side of the torso, palms are facing up. Turn the thumbs down, hands point in towards one another. Hugging here. One more breath. Exhale, take both hands to frame the right foot. We're staying connected through that right foot as we inhale, get light in the left foot, rock up, heart pulls forward. Exhale, tap that left foot back down. Inhale, rock up. Left leg lifts. Exhale, tap down. Inhale, rock up. Exhale, tap down. Inhale. Exhale as you tap down. Make sure you come down light, light, light with that foot. Untuck the left toes. Come onto the top of your left foot here. Inhale. Round through the right heel. Lift up. Make sure that right knee didn't scooch past the right ankle. Pull up through your right heel even more, especially if you're feeling really a lot of weight onto that left foot. As you get grounded through the right foot, feel the length of the top of the left thigh. Getting freedom to open up the hip flexor, the quad on the left side, through the steadiness of that right heel grounding down into the earth. Exhale, take both hands to frame the front foot. Untuck the left toes. Step back to plank. We're going to hold here for another 30 seconds. Breathing. Remembering the more we pull up from our hands into the back of our heart, the lighter we get as we pull into ourselves. Ground into our own stability, our own security, our own truths. We've got 10 more seconds. As you exhale, take the hips back. Walk the hands back. Coming to stand on both feet in a forward fold at the back of your mat. Again, play with the weight. Find the rooted connection. Go elbow to elbow. Release the upper body as you connect down through your feet. Take hands to the hips, crown of the head forward, root down to rise up. Good. Inhale as you exhale, step left foot forward. Crescent lunge, second side. Really root through that left heel. Inhale. Take the arms overhead. Tilt forward, reaching out in front of you. Keep pulling the belly in, up, and back. Connect energetically, pulling both feet towards one another to hug in even more, to find even more stability. Take the hands out to the side, thumbs pointing down, reach out behind you. Hug the shoulder blades in towards one another as you open the heart forward. Inhale. Big breath as you exhale. Take both hands down to frame the front foot. Inhale, heart pulls forward. Root through your left foot. Get light on the right foot and rock up. Inhale, exhale with control. Place that right foot back down. Inhale, rock up. Exhale, place the back foot down. Inhale, 2 more. Lift up. Exhale with control. Place the right foot down. Last one. Inhale, rock up. Exhale with control. Place the right foot back down. Taking a breath here. Inhale. Untuck the right toes, coming to the top of that back foot. Press through that left heel, heavy and grounded as you get stability to rise up. Good. Feel the length this time through the top of the right thigh. You energetically still hug into the pelvis. And as you exhale, from that stability, you find freedom energetically extending from your pelvis out through your right kneecap, draws down to the back of your mat as your right hip point pulls forward, getting length through the top of the right thigh. One more breath here. Inhale, exhale, both hands come down. Retuck the right toes, place the hands, step back to plank. Exhale, bring the knees down. and sit back on your heels. Close the eyes, take the hands to the pelvis, and just breathe. Feeling the energy pulsating beneath your hands. Alive, strong, powerful energy that you've created by hugging into yourself. Slowly open the eyes. We're going to end this practice with malasana and come onto our back. So we just have one more pose here. And malasana to me is like truly, especially a pose that I really think of when activating into my root chakra. Just because it's like a huge hugging in and pulling up directly into that area, really needing to activate Mula Bandha so that the hips can pull up and the knees can open out and then the groin can drop back down. So it's literally an action of pulling in, getting stable to create an opening in the hips so that then the pelvis can then lower back towards the floor and get a huge opening in that way. So we'll take the feet, depending on your hip mobility, the wider you go, the easier this is. The more narrow the stance, the more freedom you have to come at this pose with your hips already being a little bit open. So you play with yourself if you know you have tight hips. If you've never really done malasana before, go wider. Inhale, root through the feet. Exhale, sink the seat down. As you sink the seat down, have the knees go out. The knees should be following and tracking over the center of the foot. So that's another indication of maybe you're too tight. If you find that you can't get that alignment, try to go wider. Or if your toes are pointing more forward, you might have to spin your feet out. Notice how if you come into this pose, if you get really, just let everything be active, the seat hangs down, my heart's kind of rounding forward here. What I need to do is I need to hug in, activate my pelvis muscles. In doing that, I feel my seat lift up. So my seat lifts up, I can widen my knees, and then exhale, my tail's able to tuck under more, and my heart lifts up. So I find freedom and that drawing in to my pelvic floor, into my root chakra, into connecting to myself. Close the eyes. This is what seems to be a very undramatic pose. It doesn't really require too much, yet at the same time it can be a very dramatic pose internally and emotionally as it opens up the hips and gets in there. A lot can start to fizzle up in the mind as we sit here. It's not particularly an easy pose to hold for people. It really asks of you to be patient, to connect with your breath, to connect with yourself and stay steady within yourself to receive the opening. One more breath here. As we exhale, we'll take the seat down. We'll extend the legs out in front of us, and you can just shake them out if you need to really quickly. I have big feels from that pose. And then as you're ready, you'll make your way onto your back. Allow the arms to open up to the floor, the feet to turn out. And in this way, even in your Shavasana, we allow ourselves the steadiness of the ground beneath all parts of the body. To allow ourselves to sink down into it, to receive the support beneath us. Allow the connection to come back to the body. Bringing the awareness back to the breath first. And then making small movements with the fingers and the toes. And on an inhale, send the arms up overhead, getting a nice long stretch here. Inhaling fully, and then as you exhale, draw the knees into the chest, grab a hold of the shins. Let them in. Pulling your knees in, and then gently rocking on the spine, back and forth, side to side, circles, whatever feels good in this moment to you. And then eventually making your way to your right hand side, where you should pause for a full round of breath, where you use your inhale and your hands to press yourself back up to a comfortable seat. And bring your hands one last time into the mudra, womb mudra, the root chakra, the low pelvis, creating that little triangle with your pointer fingers and your thumbs. Imagining the energy flowing into this area from your crown, from your head, and up from the floor into the sacral center. Remembering your own energy, your power here, that this is your home, and those feelings that you get, those instinctual feelings, this is where they originate from. We must learn to trust ourselves first, so that we can open up and trust those around us. The light in me bows to the light in each of you. Namaste.